Hello, a day with Caleb, and today we are going to talk about movies that are overhyped. Now, that doesn't mean that these movies are ones that I don't like. Most of these I probably do like, but there is a factor that most of these were kind of overhyped, but most of them were successful. So take that with what you will. The first one being Forrest Gump. This movie is everywhere, and a great kind of through the ages film. You see Forrest go from world event after world event and kind of going through it with the same character. Was fun, and life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Then Avatar, this one kind of fits the overhype bill, even though, yes, a great film, technologically breaking through, kind of the first film to kind of use 3D as a form of sales. There were other 3D films, but this one's kind of the 3D film, really made 3D a thing. And, Avatar used kind of the same story as like Once Upon a Time in the Forest, Fern Gully. There's several stories that kind of used, I guess, but it was technologically great, a spectacle of sight, visually great, and the sequel, Way of Water, was also spectacular. Crash, this one I will agree, very overhyped, especially during the Oscar season. It's a crime drama, and it just got way overhyped. It is a good movie, good drama, good crime story, but again, overhyped. Also overhyped, The Notebook, probably one people use the most for like romantic posts or different things. You see them with the rain falling down, and it's really overhyped. Not my favorite Nicholas Sparks film. Probably most people's favorite Nicholas Sparks film. Titanic. This one I do collect variations of, and I have a fondness for the history and tragedy of Titanic, and also the James Cameron film. But this one was way overhyped, but also successful. One of the greatest box office performances of our time. James Cameron has, what, 3 of the top 5 or something like that. I think he has 3 in the top 5, and 2 in the top 2, right? No, I think Avatar, Avengers, and then I think Titanic, if I'm not mistaken. 2001: A Space Odyssey, this one I do enjoy, but yes, overhyped. Blade Runner, a really cool aesthetic. I like the kind of background visuals of Blade Runner, and the sequel is really good too. La La Land gets way overhyped. It is a good movie with Emma Stone, but really, really overhyped. Scarface, this was a remake from like the 40s I think, 30s or 40s Scarface. This one, a superior film than that with Al Pacino, is a little overhyped though. say hello to my little friend. The Big Lebowski, great movie, a great bowling movie, but a little overhyped. Chicago, I do enjoy and still listen to the soundtrack sometimes when I'm painting, but that one was a little overhyped. Pulp Fiction, you have the dance scenes and all, and the case where they didn't reveal what was inside. They kind of kept it. Tarantino kept it ambiguous. The Hurt Locker, I do enjoy. The third, was it the second or third film? I think the third film in this trilogy, if you will, of not as good. I think there was one before this or one after this, and then the next one. Great film, just not as maybe good as it was touted to be. American Beauty, this was everywhere in the late 90s, early 2000s. You would hear it all about it. Nowadays, you don't really hear anything about it unless you're talking about a certain star in that film. Barbie, Barbenheimer was real. It was hyped all the way to 11 with the Barbieheimer memes. I was there for it. It was great. But Barbie, a little overhyped for what it actually was. It was a solid film, just not as good as maybe the hype allowed it or made it seem to be. Natural Born Killers, this one is out there kind of psychological crime thriller. The visuals, some of the scenes, just really, he went for it, and I think a guy directed it, right? No, Oliver Stone. Yep. I should know that because I got a box set a couple months back, and this one is in that. Fight Club, it took a couple watches maybe to kind of dial in the twist ending, and you kind of picked up on it little by little, viewing by viewing. Brad Pitt, great. Ed Norton, but a little overhyped. Shakespeare in Love, really overhyped. It is a good dramatic romance movie, and as someone who went to the birthplace of William Shakespeare, really cool idea back in the late 90s, right? Was it 99, I believe? The Greatest Showman, and this one was kind of teased in Deadpool and Wolverine, but the songs are great, but it is kind of overhyped, or was overhyped. Zac Efron, along with Hugh, was in that. Then, where are we at? I have Barbie listed twice. We already talked about Barbie. Lady Bird, again, a great drama, kind of like a coming of age story. Really cool. The duo, the two friends, was really intriguing. Friday, you still see the Friday memes a lot with the lean back, look American Hustle was overhyped, but probably deserves a second watch. I kind of remember some of it, but not as much maybe as I need to. To Kill a Mockingbird with Gregory Peck. Have the Steelbook, which I think I got at Walmart for like $5. 500 Days of Summer, probably the most overhyped movie I've ever seen. It just sets up a lot that really goes nowhere. It is an intriguing premise on the face of the movie, but really slogs on for 500 Days of Summer. Oppenheimer, again tied with Barbie, kind of joint overhypeness, if you will. A good story, good history of the, what all took place there. Some cool visuals. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a little overhyped, especially the stuff with Bruce Lee, and then the ending with the Mansons. Just some weird creative choices. Again, Tarantino can do what he wants, it's his movie, but I think it kind of made people, like, I don't want to say question the movie, but Brad Pitt, but a little overhyped. And then The Banshees of Inisherin, this was nominated like 80 times at the Oscars that year. So overhyped. And Nothing Against Colin Farrell. Our uncle did work on Solace. He was Anthony Hopkins' hand double, body double, when in the movie Anthony Hopkins is flipping this kind of dossier or pages. That's our uncle's hands. They had almost identical hands. So he worked with Anthony Hopkins on 4 or 5 films, but this was, I think, the only film he worked with Colin, but they got a picture together. But decent film, The Banshees of Inisherin, just really overhyped. Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler. This one, probably the most committed to a performance besides Punch Drunk Love, where you see kind of the dramatic side of Adam Sandler's creative process. And it was cool to see, especially when he's at his kid's recital and is like trying to run away from the bookies he owes money to. That was a fun scene. Then last we have Amelie, which is a foreign film, but it did we did hype it up in America too. Like, subscribe, share with a movie lover. Go out there and watch those overhyped movies and keep collecting.